We saw a place where the president says he wants to spend 5 billion to purchase a yacht. But for now, we don't need it. The House of Representatives owes us a duty to investigate properly to see how we got a yacht that we didn't pay for. We saw in the papers that the yacht was already in the country. Another question arises.
Hello, thank you for joining us on Noble TV Live. My name is Cray Amona, and today we're looking at the 2023 Supplementary Budget, issues relating to actual compliance, budget content, and other aspects of expenditure yet to be resolved. And our guest is Comrade Augustine Milo. Welcome to Noble TV Live.
Thank you very much.
Yes, the budget is the traditional blueprint that will guide what is to be spent by a country and the goodies expected to go into the kitty, national kitty. It's a kind of a balancing of priorities. So the one that is raising some dust now has to do with the supplementary budget, and especially with the proposed purchase of a presidential yacht, which is a facility that ordinarily can be conceived when everybody is happy. So a situation where less than 10% of the population is economically happy, economically satisfied, and we are bothered about what to do, with a maritime luxury that very few people in the rural areas even know what it means. I doubt if people in Okozo, Obiaroko, or even in Ozanogogo or Abraka or Eku know what a yacht is. But the economics of yacht purchase will also visit their pockets. So how do we reconcile these things, Comrade?
Thank you very much, Gray. Because I think my own challenge here is even beyond what you just have. The picture you have just painted.
Yes.
So I want to believe that my own challenge here is in addition to the picture you have just painted, because you said some unresolved issues in the budget.
Yes.
Now,
with regard to the National Assembly.
National Assembly and all that.
Yes.
We have the Senate and we have the House of Representatives.
Yes.
Now, when the bill got to the House of Representatives, they said, no, we saw a place where the president says he wants to spend 5 billion to purchase a yacht. But for now, we don't need it. And therefore, the House of Representatives now yanked that budget from that for yacht and merged it with that of scholarship for students in Nigeria, making that of students now to be 10 billion. Now, they went ahead. The one that was provided for the National Security Advisor was about 29 billion. They said, no, we are increasing it to 50 billion because of the rate of insecurity. Now, the one for the security generally, that's the one that was posted to the Minister of Defense, was 526 billion, as against what the president proposed, which was 426 billion. Now, they went ahead also and recommended 1.5 billion for the purchase of vehicles for the for the wife of the president, that's the first lady.
Yes.
And all that. Now, why they are posting 50 billion to the Office of National Security, they are posting also the same amount of money, 50 billion, to the Nigeria Police and 49 billion to the DSS. Now, my question is, and why I'm worried, is if you are providing budget for the Ministry of Defense,
yes,
after giving the 526, do you still have to break it? Do you still have to provide another? So where is the Ministry of Defense going to spend its own 526 billion?
Yes.
Because you are giving a police their own separate. You are giving a CNA, that is a security advisor, you are giving him his own separate. And you are giving a Navy separate. You are giving a DSS separate. Now you are giving Ministry of... So where... how are they going to? I don't understand that arrangement. That is on one side. Then the second aspect of it is that this yacht, now the House of Representatives removed it and merged it with that of education, that's a scholarship. Okay, which budget now was approved actually, is it the one that was deliberated upon by the House of Representatives, or the one that was deliberated by the Senate? Because if it was the one that was deliberated upon by the House of Representatives, it means the yacht, nobody can be talking about it because they said we don't need it. But unfortunately, the following day, we saw in the papers that the yacht was already in the country. Another question arises. Now, when was it actually purchased? And which country was so magnanimous to give us that highly priced item for free or on credit? Now, granted that, okay, they have given it to us, there's something we can do now. How much was it at the time it was purchased about 5 months ago? Is it the same 5 billion? So these are questions that needs to be clarified by the authorities. Otherwise, the House of Representatives owes us a duty to investigate properly to see how we got a yacht that we didn't pay for. And now that while we are preparing the budget now to accommodate it, we are seeing it in the country. So that is my position on the national budget.
Okay, so generally, the agenda for proposed income and expenditure is supposedly at that preliminary level of conceptualization is clear. There are along the line certain spending decisions by the executive tend to question that assumed consensus at the beginning. So are we now saying that because executive legislature clash can lead to constitutional crisis, especially where it has to do with spending money? How do you think the two organs of government, the two organs of state, will settle this issue, especially as it has to do with a luxury item that many Nigerian stomachs do not need? How do you reconcile this?
Yes, to reconcile this issue, I think it still has to go back to the National Assembly. Somebody, because if you have a bill that is supposed to be passed by the National Assembly, the Senate will deliberate on it. The House of Representatives will also do the same. Then at the end of the day, you say they have a joint sitting to harmonize areas of differences. But in this case now, while the House of Representatives made some amendments, the House of that is the Senate now, they don't make any amendment, they just pass it. So which one now are we taking? Is it the one from the House of Representatives or the one from the House of... So they still have to come back to harmonize it and let us know the actual position of the legislator. Now, having done that, they will now let us know also how we were able to get a yacht that we never discussed about, and we got it. And if we got it at that time, was it presented or was it provided for in the national budget of 2023? As per the time Buhari was actually presenting it. So those are the issues. And if you are saying now 1.5 billion for providing vehicles for the office of the First Lady, does the Buhari not know that there was going to be a First Lady in 2023 after the election for them not to have made provision for such a humongous amount of money? And again, let me bring this one to your notice, even Graham. This issue of bringing, maybe you're talking about yacht, or you're talking about vehicles for 160 million and all that. I said this thing cannot continue like this, because if in an organization somebody is entitled to, let's say, 10,000 naira for car loan. Now, if you apply for 10,000 naira, because that is your entitlement, and you are given the 10,000 naira, and now you make a choice either to look for a car of 6,000 within your means, then you buy it, then the remaining 4,000 you can use it to now do some other things for your children and other people, or invest even. Or alternatively, you are given a loan of 10,000. If you choose to buy a car of 15,000, which means you are going to source for another 5,000 from elsewhere. So it's a choice. Now, we are having a case now where some persons are giving 160 million to get a car. A car worth 160 million, you are giving it to me. I don't need it. Maybe I don't need it. But you are now making all of us now to have it. Now, some persons, if we were given 160 million, I can decide to use 80 million for my car, because I can still get a new car for 80 million. Then the remaining 80 million, I can use that 80 million to do whatever it is I can do for my community. You understand? But now we are seeing a situation now where the government is, imposing on every legislator now to have a particular brand of a vehicle. I don't think it's right, because the times we are now, people are going through some conditions that require the intervention of everybody, including the legislators themselves.
And when you talk about, trying to cope with a situation that is testy, economically testy, how do you think it will affect the national economy at the end of the day? We are talking about there's so many variables involved: balance of payments, harmonization, balance of trade, the liquidity profile of the national currency,
Yes.
then the national currency's present battle,
Yeah.
with the international currencies, including and especially the dollar.
Yeah.
How do you think these expenditure indiscretions, likely apparent indiscretions, will affect the national economy? Because the denominator of the economy is the liquidity profile of the currency.
Yeah.
How will it affect it?
Yes, the way it will affect the system is, there may be protests and revolts from the populace, because some of all these things are not clearly understood by many people. Sometimes when we're explaining these things on TV or television and all that,
Yes.
there are very few people who can understand us, even with our own limited understanding. You understand? So even you can imagine what somebody who is out there in the village is thinking about. He doesn't understand that somebody is buying a car of 160 million, that he even needs it at all. But some of us can even reason that yes, you even need a car. There are some persons who believe that you don't need a car at all, and you need explanation. So in the absence of explaining to them what all this stands for and how they are likely to benefit from it, you just see some pockets of disturbances here and there, and before you know it, it can snowball into something that the system may not be able to manage. That's why you see, once you see a small pocket of protest anywhere, before you know it, it's hijacked by people, angry people. That's why you say angry mob, because there are some persons who are like, let me go and join them.
Yes.
What is the difference? I'm alive and even I'm there. So the protest and a kind of revolt is what can hardly, likely appear or occur as a result of all these discrepancies.
Okay, so maybe on a subsequent edition of our outing here, we also visit conclusively the issue of dollarization, how it will affect the national currency. That would be for another production. Thank you very much for making it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment, and don't forget to click on the notification button for a clear update profile of what Novo TV offers. It offers the best for you. Thank you very much for watching.